everyone. My name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we have a few thought pieces coming down the pipeline in the next month. For those of you who are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we've provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And our topic of discussion today is mental health. On the topic of mental health, we're going to be talking about our capacity to trigger others, especially when it is the case that we're comfortable in our skin, how that can be triggering to others, and how we can deal with some of the riffraff, with some of the projections that come when you're in spaces and places with people who feel insecure by your presence. And so ultimately, I have to say that other people's insecurities are not our problems, but it's also very important that when they try to make those insecurities our problems by projecting those issues onto us, that we don't internalize them, because it's when we internalize the issues, objections, rebuttals, rebukes of other people that we can start to create unnecessary issues within ourselves and start to manifest other people's insecurities within ourselves, and we were fine to begin with. And so this is an important conversation I feel to have, because a lot of the times what people falsely assume is that when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're not operating from a place of shame, then you're operating from a place of pride, and that is simply incorrect. And a lot of the times when we have coping mechanisms that might be a byproduct of trauma, might be a byproduct of the things that we've been through that have enabled us to push through those situations and those circumstances, that have enabled us to survive those situations and circumstances, but they don't feel that you're operating from a place of shame for having gone through those things. And they see that you're coping in a way that is a byproduct of those things, but it's not an issue for you, like you're comfortably coping in the ways that you learn to adapt and manage specific circumstances in life that weren't the best. And they assume that you're prideful. They're assuming that you're prideful, and that's what that comfort level is manifesting as, when simply it is acceptance. And so I have gone through my fair share of things in life, and I think that I'm comfortable with the things that I've been through. I'm not okay with the things that I've been through, but I'm comfortable with how it's shaped me and how I've grown as a human being as a product of those situations, circumstances, and oftentimes people that I've interacted with in my life. And because I'm comfortable with the way that I've adapted and that I've grown and I've enabled myself to still be a full functioning human, to still drive towards the goals that mean a lot to me, because I'm comfortable with how I take up space despite the things that I've been through, I find that it triggers a lot of people into assuming that that must mean that I'm prideful. And I think that the false assumption is that the opposite of shame is pride, the opposite of shame is acceptance. And a lot of the times, people who have not reached a place of acceptance for the things that they've been through in life when they see acceptance manifest in you, it triggers their shame because they haven't given themselves that gift of acceptance themselves. And so I think that we would all love to be in places where everyone is ready to be in a place to accept that there's nothing we can really do to change the situations that we've been through, to change the circumstances that we've survived, but we can accept that that's what took place and it's shaped us, and we've made the decision that it's shaped us for the better. And so that's what's within our realm of control. And because with me, when it comes to the life that I've lived, wanting to live my best ultimate life, but having that come with dealing with situations and circumstances that were traumatizing 100%, that were arduous, that were difficult, that were painful, that involved suffering. I mean, you name it, I've been through it. But I don't carry those injuries and wounds because I've spent time healing them. And for those of them that aren't healed, I will spend time healing them. But the first step through all of the things that I've been through is acceptance, and I accept the life that I've lived as beautiful for the ebbs and flows that it encompasses, for the highs and lows that I have been through. I have made the choice to allow it to enable me for the better, and I think that level of comfort, how that translates, is me being very comfortable in my own skin. But make no mistake, being comfortable in one's skin isn't the same as being prideful. It isn't the same as having an attitude or feeling like you're better than other people because of the way that you're situating yourself in different spaces and places that you find yourself in. And if you find that you're meeting with a lot of people who immediately jump to assuming that you're prideful, that's their shame speaking. And I think that a lot of people don't want to hold the mirror to themselves and see that they're operating from a place of shame. And because they're operating from a place of shame, they project that sense of inadequacy that the shame creates onto the people who aren't operating from that place, rather than taking a look at themselves and asking themselves, why does this person being comfortable in their skin make me think that they're prideful? Why does this person being comfortable in their skin makes me want to feel the need to humble them, to make them bow their head, and to break them in some way, shape, or form? It's because you yourself have been humbled, it's because you yourself have been broken, and it's because you yourself haven't given yourself the gift of acceptance. And I think that it's important that we have these conversations, because part of operating from a place of being comfortable in your skin is also recognizing when there needs to be a line drawn in the sand, when people make it a point to create value judgments on who you are and why you are that way that are so far removed from who you are. It's important to set the record straight. And so I'm comfortable being silent and kind of not speaking out, but I'm not comfortable not speaking out when people are defaming, degrading my character. What you believe, what you don't believe, that is not something that I have control over, but I have control over setting the record straight. And I think that is too often the case that those of us who have found acceptance and who have made it a point to find that comfort within our skin, despite the things that we've been through, that we allow ourselves to be marred, to be misaligned by those who haven't reached that point in their healing journey. And I think all of us can reach it if we want to, if we want to do that work, if we want to do that self-discovery. But I think that for those of you who aren't, it's not okay to point fingers and to cast judgment and to cast stones at those of us who have found that level of comfort by going through the really difficult healing process, the really difficult stages and phases that come with healing, that come with acceptance. And it's much like grieving. It is a very difficult, arduous, and honest and transparent process. But if I have found myself on the other side of that for a lot of the things that I've been through, I've also found myself in a position where I don't have the threshold nor the tolerance for people who want to malign my character just because they don't want to face the fact that they have not done that work. So if you find that you are looking at someone who is comfortable in their own skin, feel inclined to cast judgment and to find a way to make them feel like they need to humble themselves or need to change their posture and their position with the way that they're showing up in different spaces, then that's an opportunity for you to do some self-reflection. I think a lot of us want to be the voice that creates change in other people without first looking at the change that we can manifest in our own lives, without looking at, well, what about this person makes me feel the need to criticize, to critique, to be judgmental, and why should this person care about my criticism, my critique, and my judgments? And I think that's another thing that comes with being comfortable in your skin. You're very picky and particular about whose criticisms and judgments matter. And I think that it's a blessing in disguise, because a lot of people, the only power they have with the words that they use is the power that you give them. So you want to be very mindful in who you give that power to, and also be very intentional in who you take that power away from, because there's a lot of abuse of power out there in the way that people feel inclined to speak about other people. And I think a lot of people just need to have that power ultimately removed so that they can use their voice to focus on their own healing, on their own own growing and evolving sense of selves. I think that it's important to have this conversation because I think too many of us are maligned and we are under attack when it is the case we find a degree of comfort in our own skin. And I think that don't allow anyone to make you feel apologetic for being comfortable in your own skin. Don't allow anyone to make you feel as though you're arrogant, that you're prideful, that you're holier than thou, because you've reached a place of acceptance that comes with a lot of hard, difficult conversations. It comes with a lot of growth, with a lot of healing, a lot of inner transformation, a lot of self-discovery to get there. It is a process, it is a journey that is very difficult. So if I have found myself in a position where I'm comfortable in my skin, then I'm also in the position to say I'm unapologetic about it because I've done the work to get here. And so rather than waste energy and effort trying to make someone who is comfortable in their own skin feel less comfortable, maybe take that time and energy and put it into finding a degree of comfort in your own skin. In any case, that was the topic for today. Definitely it, but not all. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, then I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops, largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out, be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.